Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and The Thing, issue number 2. This is probably the worst comic book of the entire year. Yeah, this was wow. Like it's December. It's third week of December for crying out loud. Like this is how is the whole year? This is the worst yeah. Yeah, because of how much I liked the first comic book and I remember I always say this was a good first issue. I hope it continues to be good. And there's a whole bunch of people like, oh, this series is going to be great. Look how good the first issue was. Live and learn, my peeps. Live and learn. When you get a little older, you start to realize disappointment comes in many flavors. In this particular case, Orange Rocky Road. Let's get talking about who made this comic book. We'll move on from there. Yeah, I totally came up with that on the spot. I'm actually rather proud of that one. Anyway, okay, so Walter Mosley is the writer. The artist is Tom Riley. Jordi Belair does the colors. VC's Corey Petita has nothing to do with this. This is VC's Joe Sabino. He did the letters. And Riley, of course, did the art for the cover as well. The cover was probably the worst part of the art in this comic book. The coverage, it was not inspiring. It was not inspired. It was just kind of tired. It's very tropey. I didn't like it at all. I told you exactly what was going to happen in the book, but because not a lot happened in the book. At the same time, Tom Riley probably didn't have a whole lot of inspiration. He literally should have just been like, you know what, I'm just going to draw a pretty picture of the thing. Because honestly, who cares? The book sucks, you know? The interior art was great. If I had to make one complaint about Tom Riley's interior art, is that the foot that he drew for the thing, not good. It's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. This is coming from a guy whose favorite thing to draw in the world is the thing. But I know that I'm not that good at it. Riley's way better than me at it, you know? Just, it is what it is. But for the love of God, man, don't draw the thing's feet if you can't draw the thing's feet. I have spoken. Really fantastic art. I don't know if he was classically trained, but he certainly shows the signs of being classically trained. While his dynamic movement isn't the best, he still makes up for it with very simple, classic ways of depicting exactly that motion. You'll notice one image where he's doing an uppercut, right? Right before he does this one uppercut and his shirt just rips. And I'm like, this is so tropey, it's ridiculous, but I loved it. I love it. I looked at it, I was like, this is the best dumb thing I've seen in a long time. I absolutely love the idea that he was probably told, hey, yeah, have a shirt rip off while he's punching somebody. I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe he came up with this idea on his own. Either way, yeah, this was I really good seeing that, right? There's a scene where like he's doing this uppercut and you see it just looks like he's leaning back with his fist up, but you see that from about his elbow to the top of his knuckles, that forearm is blurred. So you could tell that this is where the action is. This is what they want you to focus on. It's the whole arm. It's the body that's moving. Nobody who knows what they're doing, especially somebody like, a renowned boxer like the Thing, he knows how to throw a punch. You use your whole body. You twist at the waist, damn it, But if it's somebody who maybe doesn't know how to fight, this works to just show the forearm. That's where you're putting all the focus on, right? Because that's the thing that's actually hitting the guy. Little things like that, it made me smile when I'm reading this comic book. Really enjoyed reading this. I really enjoyed the art in this comic book. Tom Riley draws very well, but Jordi Belair, the color artist in here, has a way of taking, if he wanted to, hot garbage cooled down on a wall, peeing on it, and then somehow sprucing it up. He has a really great way of taking anything that you hand him and making it better, right? So when you have really good art like Riley's art in here, and Jordi Belair gets to jump onto this, you're talking about a great sync. Jordi had the option to be lazy in this, but he didn't. He understands color schemes in a way that, besides how vibrant the colors are in this, every color matches, right? There's a synchronicity when you are reading this comic book, when you're seeing the images here. Everything kind of blends with the next, and not in a bad way, in a way that's very aesthetically pleasing. You can look at the images of this comic book and you understand every single thing that's happening. And it's not about, like, he knows that, Jordi knows that Tom understands how to draw attention to the thing that's moving. So Geordi can relax on that and simply make everything blend well, right? There's a scene in here, a couple of panels where Brusque is beating up on the thing. There's a left, a right, a right, And he's got the little vial of light in his hand, in his fist. And you can see how well that light contrasts with the rest of the color scheme, how it stands out so boldly, how that's what's drawing that's what your eye is being drawn to, right? Later on when the thing goes to punch him and he catches his fist in his hand and he's got that vial of light in there, it's like, oh, I see what you're doing there. And then when the thing wants to counteract this, I don't know where this black ironclad glove came from, leftover auction from Dr. Doom. It just happened to be laying there wrapped in a cloth. But anyway, you notice that it's a black glove to contrast against the white of the light vial, the vial of light. Belair understands colors, right? It's like you were trained in the colors, but I was born in them. I don't know, whatever that scene from Bane's, Batman Dark Knight Rises thing. He really gets colors, and I loved it. As far as the writing of this comic book is concerned, I think I mentioned this is because this is what I was thinking about when I was about halfway through this book. This is a masterclass in how not to write. One of the things I've always mentioned to people is the importance of the protagonist's relationship with we, the reader, with us. If the protagonist knows more than he should and doesn't relay that information to us, the reader, then we start to feel like we're stupid and we stop reading the book. If the protagonist doesn't know anything and he's got to have his hand guided and we know everything but the protagonist is unawares of these things that we know, then we feel that the protagonist is stupid and we stop reading the book. It's a very delicate relationship between the information that has to come to the reader and how it passes through the middleman of the protagonist in order to reach us, right? If you just tell us a thing, then it's narration. If the protagonist is doing everything and we don't know how he learned these things, we just think that he's some kind of super genius clairvoyant, right? There's got to be that relationship. In this particular comic book, the Thing doesn't know a goddamn thing. He doesn't work for anything in this comic book. There's nothing he works for. All the information in this comic book is given to him by two different people. We don't understand how one of these people is so smart, right? Lamplighter Ford is the king of the underground, whatever the hell he's supposed to be. Very cool name. I have to compliment that name. I might steal that name for something one of these days. Like that's a name where you hear it and suddenly you just get inspiration. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but I'm going to do something with that. That's for damn sure. Lamplighter Ford. Very cool name. Anyway, this dork of a character. He just hands the Thing. The Thing tries to follow Brusque after he's almost killed by this character. He goes down into the sewers, the underground train stations, whatever, and there's freaking Lamplighter Ford. And he just explains everything that the Thing needs to know. Oh, you're looking for Brusque. How did you know that? Yeah. Here, his real name is so-and-so, and he got his powers like this, and this is where he went. You'll find him here. Wow, that was a lot. Like somebody else just gave me this guy's origin stories and everything, and he found a poster of this person and he fell in love with her. And like the character dialogue in here, the Thing just commenting, "That's what you call love?" This is not engaging. And then there's the little kid who seems to know everything. And he doesn't talk like a kid, right? He's talking about J.P. Morgan and all that. Bruh. This kid just seems to know everything. And he's like, yeah, I'll take you to such and such. The Thing doesn't even come up with a plan to beat up Brusk. Mind you, Brusk came this close to killing the Thing. He was paralyzed. He came this close to killing the Thing. And he tried to murder the Thing. He tried to. So later on, the kid says, listen, I just need you to go in there and distract Brusk, and then I will go and rescue the girl. Okay, cool. So it's implying that you can't beat him. Just distract him long enough for me to rescue the girl, the princess, the castle, and then you can get out of there. So in my mind, the way that this book was leading me to believe that the Thing was about to get hurt again, which wouldn't have worked very well because he was already hurt, and then he just instantly got better. There was no drama of leading to the idea that, oh no, the Thing almost died in this issue. I never felt scared for the Thing. I never felt worried that, are they actually going to kill the Thing? I mean, it's comics, they're going to bring him back. But like, are they about to kill the Thing? Like, this would break my heart, you know? Nope. Not only does he successfully distract Brusk, but he actually beats Brusk. He didn't go off and get the lightsaber or learn the Force or learn magic or get the One Ring in order to come back and save the village. That's not at all what happened. He just beat him. And there's a little MacGuffin thrown in. The kid finds or has this black gauntlet that's wrapped in a white cloth and tosses it. Maybe there's some symbolism there. Finds it and throws it to the Thing, and the Thing he puts it on and, just does the same thing, captures his hand, and then he's able to, he actually winds up killing him. And the Thing shows no remorse. A hero shows no remorse. Mind you, a hero on the level of the Thing. Guys, most people don't care about the Thing nowadays. But you and me, we're usually these older fans or these older-minded fans who recognize the Thing as just being one of the best characters there are out there that have ever been made. And he was he was more popular than Spider-Man, or at least on the level of Spider-Man back in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? The Thing was the man. Loved the Thing. Still love the Thing. This wasn't the Thing. This was just some joker. It was in horrible hands. Walter Mosley's hands were horrible in this. Everything that you could do wrong, Walter Mosley showed us exactly how to do those things. That's not the kind of lessons we need. This is one of the books that you would literally show someone how not to write a character, how not to write a story, not just for comic books, ever, for anything. This was terrible, genuinely terrible. At one point, Lamplighter Ford tells the Thing, oh yeah, let me tell you who this kid really is. Which gives us the impression that maybe it's Brusk's son. So we're not privy to the conversation. So of course we're going to get it later on. Well, the Thing immediately goes and he finds the kid. There's no searching for him or anything. He just boop, 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 walks up and finds him. Sees this kid and he's just standing over top of him, glowering down. And we're thinking any moment now, he's going to spring. Why didn't you tell me you're such and such? Now, we don't know anything about this kid. And saying it there like that would have had to have been something powerful enough to make us go, oh, because we just got introduced to this kid. Just introduced to him. So it would have had to have been something really profound. You know what it was? No, I'm asking you, do you? Because I don't know, because they didn't tell us. The whole book, boom, they didn't tell us. The kid rescues the princess, the Thing just kind of, so the Thing knows, but we don't know. Think about what I said. The delicate balance between, and it's not even that delicate. I'm being exaggerative when I say that. If the protagonist learns something, then we have to know it also. And it doesn't have to be right away, but it goddamn well sure as hell better be in the same book, unless it's inferred that he learned something. But when you flat out tell us, hey, Lamplighter Ford is telling this guy something, is telling the protagonist something, and now we need that information. No. We need that information. Otherwise, he knows something that we don't, and he's supposed to be our eyes. No, I can't read this book. I don't care who the goddamn kid is at this point. F this kid, you know? Apparently F Lamplighter Ford too, because he died. We don't know why he died. He just, yeah, we're going to get you. And we got mustard gas, and we got RPGs, and we got butt-kicking devices, rock, biting armor or something, whatever. We're going to kill you and your family, your friends over there, if you don't promise to stay down here forever. You got to make that decision. And it's like, well, this is stupid. It's not even give us this or give us that. No, promise to stay down here, and maybe we'll make you citizens of our secret club thing. Otherwise, we're going to shoot these people right now. So it's more like a word. It's more like, give me your word. It's like, hey, remember back in the days, way back in the days, it used to be the idea like men were literally men of their word. And nowadays, we can't understand this. But a woman would say, you want to sleep with me? Yes, I want to sleep with you. Okay. But you have to promise to marry me. And the man would, if he was serious about it, he'd be like, okay, fine. I'll sleep with you, and then I will marry you. Like, okay, boom. So he would sleep with her, and then he'd leave. No, he would marry her, right? That's the case that it usually used to be. You would marry this woman. Boom, done, because you gave your word. Apparently, Walter Mosley is really, really old, and he still thinks this way. And it's like, no, nobody got married in this. But apparently he was supposed to, the thing was supposed to say, fine, we'll stay down here. And since I'm a man of my word, this guy died, Brusk died, all these people died, and the thing didn't even give two blinks about it. It's like, all right, let's go this way. Everything is just handed to the thing, therefore it's handed to us. There's no earning anything. For crying out loud, they're like, we got to find this fort. They go walking down the street a little ways, like one panel, and then the very next panel, apparently in the middle of New York City, not too far from Rockefeller Center, or Radio City Music Hall at the very least, there's this big fort. It's actually a fort. It's like a castle, except it's just big round thing with the little parapets on the top. Maybe there's some arrow slits up there that I didn't notice, but it's a castle. I'm from New York, New Jersey. I've never seen that. I've seen the castle and several castles in Central Park and all that stuff. I've never seen something this big, this grandiose, and boom, boom, boom. The thing even says at one point, where does this thing come from? But it's not drawn upon. It's nothing special. They're saying that real characters in history, like J.P. Morgan and all these people, and Rockefeller, like they created that. They built this because, they got the name robber barons, but they didn't want to be what did he say? They didn't want to be the under royalty that capitalism allows. No, they wanted to be actual royalty. So like feudalism would have allowed. I think that's where he wanted to eventually go with it. But it was just a brief thing. And it's like, play against capitalism. Okay. Yeah, because we've never seen that before. Sure. Remember the X-Men back in the day? They used to subtly insinuate things. You knew that the mutants were every black person on the planet. You knew that the mutants were every Asian person on the planet, every Latino on the planet, were every gay person on the planet, right? Were later on every trans person on the planet. They were every native who was on this planet. They were every Muslim or whatever group was being Jew. They were every Jew. They were every persecuted group in the world. These were the X-Men were the people, the mutants were the people who, you're the ones that humanity hates, and you're fighting for your survival. and you're fighting to make us understand. You're fighting against the bad guys within your own and exterior, and you're going to make things better. But they didn't call them all those things. They just called them mutants. They called them mutants. And we understood who they were through insinuation. It wasn't that hard. And here, I'm just going to come right out and say, yeah, capitalism sucks. How can a veteran like Walter Mosley, and like I said, this isn't a comic book thing. It's not like, oh, he's got to get used to comic books. No, he's got to learn how to write. If this is what his books are like, God, it's no wonder I've never read his stuff before. This issue was hot garbage. As far as the writing is concerned, just handed people stuff. The one bit of information that he actually does have, which again, he was handed, he doesn't relay that information to us, the reader. Just things happen for absolutely no reason. Oh my God, the thing almost died, but I didn't feel anything. And then he turns around, it's like, okay, you can't beat this guy, but he does. And there's no special magical trick that he did to be able to defeat him. Except the MacGuffin, the Infinity Gauntlet that appeared out of nowhere. Literally, out of thin air. Poof, here you go. The kid is apparently the hero. You know, you're just a kid. How are you rescuing me? I'm old enough to rescue you. I'm old enough to free you from your bonds. My mind is going to explode at how absolutely terrible this book was. Listen, if you want to be a good writer, here's what you do. You go out and you buy this comic book. And you do the exact opposite of every single thing that was done in this comic book. You will be the greatest writer on earth. Because this is telling me that Walter Mosley is the worst writer on this earth. And I know he's not, but God damn it, he knows him and they're best friends. And they might even be roommates. Like, this is terrible, terrible writing. This is the worst writing that I've seen the entire year. And that's only compounded with the idea that the previous issue was actually pretty damn good. I'm done. And I would not go back with this comic. You could come at me with a gun and I'll be like, you know what? It's worth the bullet. I'll eat it. Just don't make me read it. You can't make me read this comic book again. Forget about it. You know what I'm saying? I'd go the Yakuza way, but like, you know what? Here's a pinky. Shit. Here's the hand. If this is the hand I got to flip the pages of the comic book with, take the hand, because I ain't reading that damn comic book. Dude, this was terrible. Anyway, guys, I'm done. I'm done. This is done. Love and peace. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Like the video, goddamn you, and watch the ad. Class dismissed.